What, we some kind of suicide squad?
I am Iron Man.
You are a toy!
I live my life a quarter mile at a time.
Server Anakin! I have the high ground!
I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence.
I'm simply saying that life, finds a way.
Welcome back to the Big Movie Boys podcast, the only podcast incredibly hungover on a Sunday. I'm your host, Jeremy Baumner. With me, as always, is Ben Stitch.
How's it going out there?
And Bob Liebel.
What's up, everybody? That was a very appropriate introduction, Jeremy. You can tell by our voices we're not feeling well.
We were flexing our vaccines for the first time yesterday, and it shows today.
Yeah, we were testing those vaccines very, very hard last night.
I'll let you know what the research says, but holy mother of God, dude. We don't feel well today.
Shout out to Ty Hughes.
Yeah, congratulations.
Well, it's going to be a rough one, and because of that, it might be a short one, but we got plenty of stuff to get through. Obviously, we got to fasten up for F9. These movies are starting to get good, and we're going to review Army of the Dead. But first, the penultimate episode of the Mighty Ducks Game Changers. Ben, what did we miss?
You didn't miss anything. I don't know why they had this episode. They didn't touch the ice in this one. It was all about Evan having a crush on that girl that he convinced to join the team. And it was like, there was the night before states start, there's this big party. So the whole episode is like about Evan trying. It was the stupidest fucking episode of all
party,
time.
like a drinking party?
Well, they're like 12, so I think they're a couple of years away from that. But no, like, yeah, it's like, it was basically like a middle school dance party, but it was for these hockey players. It was so stupid. Well, Evan starts it by firing his mom because she's been a bitch. Spoiler, she's the coach at the end.
Did he say that to her face that she was a bitch?
And she was like okay with it. She's like, you're right, you go without me. And she was not even in this episode until the end when she rallies back and she's like, I'm the fucking coach of this team, basically.
Did they
in a
realize
good
they
way.
need
They're all
someone
excited
to coach the team?
Yeah, because I'm gonna skip most of this episode because it was all about that crush. Couple great Nick the Stick lines. He was hysterical.
I got one question about this dance. Was Gordon Bombay chaperoning, and did he have a flask?
Dude, he was drinking. He did not chaperone.
Did he spike the
He was
punch
at
bowl?
the bar the entire time. This is the good part of this episode. He starts drinking with Coach T. He's the coach of the Ducks, the bad guy. And Coach T is like, oh, like the pressure I'm under from these parents, and Bombay gives him some advice, and he talks about how he was fired by the NCAA, his college gig when he was paying kids to play. You're like, wow, Coach T is kind of a good guy. Psych, stabs him in the back, reports him. Bombay is fired. He's not allowed to be the coach of the Ducks then.
Damn.
Of the Don't Bothers?
Thank you, yes, the Don't Bothers. Good catch there, Jared. And then that's where Lorelai Gilmore comes back into play.
Oh, yes.
And uses her lawyer skills, even though she's not a lawyer. She's just like an assistant for a lawyer.
Isn't Bombay also a lawyer?
I was going to say, is that not exactly what Bombay was?
He was not a good lawyer because he could not get himself out of this one. But she basically says, like, the rule is that you need to be like an NCAA approved coach, even for this fucking minor, like, little kid hockey league. It makes no sense. And he's not NCAA approved. But turns out he doesn't have to be because
it's children's hockey.
Because like it only is the stupidest thing ever. It only matters because the kids aren't going to play in college. They're not good enough. Like if the kids are being like scouted by college teams, then it needs to be an NCAA approved coach. But because the Don't Bothers suck so much, it doesn't matter. They're like, your kids suck. It doesn't matter. So we can coach.
How much is this entire episode dedicated to explaining that?
Dude, it might as well have been. I could not wrap my head around it.
Has anybody that writes for the show ever seen or heard of sports?
Dude,
That's not how anything works.
I played hockey. First of all, I think I went to States one year. Did not have a big dance like the night before, like a game started.
I don't think anybody ever has. Like maybe it's different in Minnesota, but like
they fucking get crazy about their hockey apparently.
That is unbelievable.
But yeah, Bombay is he's got to hit the books again. He's been at that bar way too much. When they showed him at the bar and Coach T coming up, I'm like, God damn it, he knew where to find Bombay.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's really all this episode was. Evan and Sophie, whatever, they get together in the end. Nick finds his girlfriend. He gets a girlfriend. He was fucking hysterical this entire episode. He's the MVP of this show. He needs a spin-off show.
Nick the Stick. Game Changers coming soon to Disney Plus. All right, well, we got one episode left. Are you more excited for the finale or the fact that it's the last
It's over.
episode?
I hope it's not like an hour fucking long, dude. This better be like 30 short minutes.
It's gonna be a season 2. You know it. I already
This
got
podcast-
greenlit six new seasons.
You are contractually obligated
You have to watch
to
it.
keep watching the show for as long as they make it.
Yeah, I really hope they don't make any more seasons of this, but I will honor my contract and do that.
All right, well, we got one more episode left of that next week. I'm looking forward to it, Ben, as always. Another thing I'm looking forward to is fastening up for F9. Boys, how are we feeling this week? I know you watched the movie this week.
Take it down a few notches, Jeremy. I still have a fucking headache, dude.
Yeah, I did not watch this one.
Which one are we on?
Fast and Furious, the 4th installment of the franchise.
Oh god, this is debacle. I remember this.
And this is the rebirth, okay? This is where the movies start getting really freaking good. This is where we learn Dom Toretto is not a human being. He may be an alien, but he's definitely a superhero. And this is where it all begins. So we start in the Dominican Republic, where gas is gold. Bob, I'm going to propose something to you.
Okay.
You are Dom Toretto.
Oh shit.
There is a tanker truck carrying an absurd number of oil tankers behind it, like a chain of 6 oil tankers on the narrow, windy roads in the mountains of the Dominican Republic.
Okay. Good way to transport those.
You have 2 trucks and a car, and,
Okay.
and a team of 6 people, and you want to commandeer this truck and steal all the oil tankers because, as I stated, gas is gold.
Okay.
How do you go about stealing them?
I would probably maybe pull up in front of him or maybe like dislodge. Maybe actually no, I'm assuming they probably dislodge the oil tanker somehow.
Yeah, don't
Like
you?
and the driver won't know. That's my guess.
That might be what they
So
did.
slowly take them off one by one.
But don't you think I would? This is what I would do. I would try to like get into the front cab or whatever the actual where he's
or just
driving.
hijack it, you know.
Yeah, like throw that guy out and just
Yeah.
take it. But I'm guessing they were a little more complicated than that.
Right, so here's what you're going to do, Bob. You got these trucks, right? And there's
Yeah.
this lever arm on the back of it. And you're going to drive the truck in reverse behind the oil tanker at like 80 miles an hour
Oh wait, in these windy roads.
on the windy mountain
Wait,
roads.
so you got the truck, the oil tankers, me in my truck driving backwards up to the rear of it.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah, that
You're driving, your partner crawls out of the window onto the back of the truck and very precisely swings the arm down and it latches onto the hitch on the back of the last tanker.
okay. That's almost virtually impossible.
It is impossible. Meanwhile, Letty is crawling around on the truck and doing what you said, basically disconnecting the tankers. So now you've got 2, the last 2 in the chain are connected to your truck.
Oh.
And now you can start driving forward and take them away. So now there's only like 4 tankers left on this absurd chain.
Think about the momentum when you decide to switch directions.
Yes.
You're gonna fucking die.
You are driving backwards downhill.
That doesn't
And
make
now
any sense.
you have 2 oil tankers connected to you, also carrying you downhill.
Wait, oh my god, damn.
But,
But they're driving forward now, at least, right?
well, eventually, yeah, slowly but surely. I didn't mention another key thing, though. Han is here.
Oh, I thought he was dead.
This is where the timeline of the Fast and the Furious comes into play. The events of this movie happened before Tokyo Drift. Fast and Furious, the 4th installment of the Fast and Furious franchise, the 3rd movie chronologically.
That's incredible. Why do they even need to do that?
What's
Is
the
it
point?
Hans and like the ones past that one anyways? Why did they?
Does anybody care though? Like,
You do?
I guess.
It's so
Was
stupid.
someone like, I need some more Hans?
So, long story short, action scene, obviously, it works the first time, doesn't work the second time. The driver's insane, like all truck drivers in this universe start shooting at them with a gun instead of, just giving up
Yeah.
the truck that
Why
he
did
doesn't
it-
own.
yeah.
And then there's a cool scene. One of the tankers is rolling, it's about to explode. Dom and Letty skirt right under it as it's rolling down the hill, right before it explodes and falls off the mountain. Pretty good stuff. At the end of this, though, Dom is having this. He finds out that he's like really wanted in America based on, his shenanigans in the first movie. And so he's like, well, I don't want like my friends to go down if they catch me. So Han, it's been fun, but you should go do your own thing. And he says, I heard they're doing some crazy shit in Tokyo.
Then does he look at the camera and wink?
And then he winks and he says, "You should watch Tokyo Drift, the movie preceding this movie that happens after this movie."
Just so everyone's on the same page.
And Dom decides, I don't want Letty to get in trouble for me, so I'm just going to ditch her in the dead of night. Leaves behind stacks of cash and a cross necklace. Remember this cross necklace?
I remember that shit.
Yeah.
Then we catch up with Brian O'Connor. He's in LA.
Is this the one where he I just saw a clip on Twitter making fun of Adam Silver like letting LeBron play even though he was out violating protocols or whatever, and it's Brian O'Connor being like, "Let it go, cuh."
Yeah, that's gotta be
That's
one,
Too
right?
Fast, Too Furious.
Gotcha,
Yeah,
okay.
that's literally the funniest fucking clip ever.
Yeah, a lot of cuz in Too Fast, Too Furious. He's an FBI agent. I guess he got promoted.
Even though he's doing illegal things.
Yeah,
Did they do a background check on him at all?
At best, he's riding on the line of being, within the bounds of the law. So
I really thought he stopped being a cop after like the first one.
he's only doing better. He's only more of a cop as the movies progress so far. So yeah, he's there. Cool chase scene, good action scene. Even just on foot chase scenes, not always car chase scenes. That
Interesting.
the diversity that this series has to offer. We find Dom in Mexico. That's where he's kind of hiding out. And we find out Letty is dead.
This franchise is
Wait,
just
how did she
killing
die?
people.
Letty is
They
dead. We're
don't-
not there yet.
Do they show? They don't show it, do they? Oh,
See if
sorry.
any
Just
reaction-
wait. Just
Okay.
wait to learn how they show it. But first, there's a funeral for Letty. Off in the distance, we see Brian O'Connor and a bunch of FBI agents kind of scoping it out.
Making sure Dom's not there.
In the further distance, Dom Toretto is scoping out Brian O'Connor, scoping out the funeral.
For Letty, who's not even fucking dead, really.
She's dead.
How? I'm sorry. How
This
did
is
they
so
not
great.
see him behind them?
He's in the distance.
How did he?
Bob.
I'm assuming he came in some big jackass muscle car too. It probably made a shitload of noise. So like, how do you not know when he's somewhere? You gotta be the easiest person in the world to find.
Dude, Dom Toretto's probably looking in at this podcast recording from the distance. He's
I
always
hope
in the
so.
distance.
So, Dom obviously needs to figure out how Letty died. Now, you might remember when we did our Lord of the Rings in review series, and there's that moment where I believe it's Strider kind of recreates a battle scene with like
Yeah.
the orcs and
Just like looking
reading
at the
the
ground.
earth.
Yeah.
yeah. He has those skills because he's whatever magical and he can scout or whatever. Dom Toretto does that to an absurd degree.
With
where
what?
He sees tire tracks
Oh God.
and recreates a 2-car collision that causes Letty's car to flip. He sees her crawl her way out of the car, sees the dude who crashed into her walk out of his car, point a gun at her, and shoot her.
Please tell me they show this in like a flashback type way while they flash back
So-
to Dom looking at the road.
It's
So
like-
he knows that she got shot in the head because he looked at tire tracks.
Correct. It's like
All
him
right.
standing in the road while the scene plays out around him, and he's just like doing
Is
the
there
math.
Any other traffic that he's got to worry about?
He finds all these clues. He's like, he knows the tire treads. He somehow knows that there's like some sort of like fuel mixture used for these cars. Like I don't know, dude.
Fuck.
He comes up with a lot of details on the scene, and it's pretty awesome to watch. That's how we learn about Braga. He's the bad guy in this movie. He's a drug runner. Runs drugs from Mexico to
Doesn't even matter. It's all about gas in
US.
the Dominican anyways.
we're not in the Dominican.
Oh,
anyway.
my bad. That's on me.
Gas is gold in the Dominican. Now we're talking heroin, I'm pretty sure,
Nice.
from Mexico to the US. And in order to get into this guy's group, this guy's looking for drivers. How do you find drivers? You get drivers to race each other. The winner of the race is now in the group. And so,
Okay.
obviously,
naturally.
Dom's like, okay, well, I'll win the race and then I'll be part of the group. However, Brian O'Connor, working the case via the FBI, goes undercover as a street racer. Now they're racing against each other for the one spot that's open.
Wow.
They
Win.
they have a 5-mile race in the streets of LA. They're
But
tied.
they were in Mexico.
No,
Wait a second. He's the most wanted man in America, and he decides to go race around Los Angeles.
correct.
Okay, cool. He's not worried about getting caught.
5-mile race. The GPS says there's 1/4 of a mile left in the race, and they're tied. It's a 1/4-mile race, Bob. It's a throwback to
Why
the
are they
first.
using GPSs?
Yeah, how the fuck are they using GPSs?
This whole race is like a video game where they get like GPS things and it shows them the path and like checkpoints to run through.
What year did this movie come out?
2009.
Okay, yeah, GPS worked very well back then.
Yeah. It was really up to date. Dom ends up winning, kind of a cheap win. Crashes into Brian O'Connor, spins him out, ends up winning though. So Dom's in. He's going to be one of the drivers for Braga.
Was Brian's career, is he 0 for 2 then against Dom?
Yeah, he is. We meet Gal Gadot. She's in the franchise
She
now.
sings Imagine in this one?
She does
Did
not
not
sing
know she was
Imagine in
in
this. Yes, she is. She's introduced here. She's working for Braga. She's a bad guy. Remember that. And then Brian decides, you know what, we'll just raid one of the other drivers. Now he's short a driver. He'll hire me. So don't worry, Brian's also part of this. The driving route is from Mexico to the US. They go through these tunnels inside a mountain. Very treacherous. They got to go very single file.
I've seen this movie. I'm pretty sure I've seen this movie.
I know I'm painting a beautiful picture in your head, Bob.
Do they do the same thing in the 5th one where they drive through tunnels?
No, but they do it again later in this movie.
Okay.
You've seen this movie then?
I've seen this fucking movie.
So I'm just gonna run through the next few points pretty quick. They run through the tunnels. They get back to America. They're gonna shoot all the drivers. Dom says, "Nope, I'm gonna shoot all you guys." Dom and Brian escape with all the drugs that they were just trafficking, some $60 million worth.
Why does Dom want to be a part of this? What's his motivation here?
He's trying to kill Braga or whoever killed Letty. Because he determined doing his, recreation of the scene that whoever it was works for Braga.
Gotcha, okay.
And so Brian and Dom escape. Brian's still working with the FBI, even though the FBI is like, all right, you've kind of disobeyed every order we've given you, and we know that you have Dom Toretto and aren't turning him over to us. So Brian's like, well, let's make a deal with Braga. We give him the drugs, but
What?
It's a sting operation, so we capture Braga, and if it works out, Dom goes free. And the FBI is like, yeah, that makes sense. We'll do that. So they do that. They make this deal. Braga shows up. But then they realize when Dom Toretto says, that ain't Braga. It turns out, I forget the guy's name, the guy that they had made contact with throughout the whole movie is actually Braga. He's just hiding under an alias. He's been in front of them the whole time.
So Braga isn't. So Braga was there then. The one they're like, that ain't Braga, but it was Braga.
It wasn't
the bad guy.
Yeah, it wasn't the guy that they thought was Braga.
Gotcha.
It was the guy they'd been talking to this whole movie. So then,
fucking twist.
Yeah, I didn't see it coming for sure, and I didn't ruin it this time. So, basically, so that plan goes sour. They don't get the real Braga. The real Braga escapes to Mexico. Brian O'Connor, the FBI is like, you're off the case. You're just too wild. We can't trust you. He's like, fine by me. Goes and finds Dom. They decide, you know what? Let's just go to Mexico.
Let's take the law in our own hands.
Now, Gal Gadot helping them out. She's not bad anymore.
Okay.
She just kind of flips. Dom saves her at some point. Now she's a good person. Remember that. That'll be important. They're about to go into Mexico. Brian's like, my jurisdiction ends here. Dom's like, that's okay. Mine starts here.
Is Dom a Mexican citizen?
I don't know. I think he's a citizen of the globe.
Is Dom a Mexican citizen?
Because I don't see how his starts in Mexico.
So they capture Braga in Mexico. They drive through the tunnels yet again. And this guy, Phoenix, who's like Braga's number 2, the one who actually killed Letty, is now chasing them. So Braga's in Brian's car. Phoenix is chasing him. They crash. Phoenix is about to kill Brian O'Connor, who crashes through the tunnel in his Mustang. Dom Toretto does.
Oh, yeah.
And he's beelining towards Phoenix. He wants to just kill the dude. Phoenix sees him coming. He's about to run away. Brian O'Connor grabs his foot so he can't run away. Dom Toretto crashes into this man at about 140 miles an hour.
While Brian's just holding his...
While Brian is holding his leg,
Okay.
Phoenix is standing with his back to another car, just gets absolutely sandwiched between these cars.
I gotta think Brian O'Connor should no longer be in the
He
FBI.
is an accomplice for murder, without a question.
Now, is Dom injured? Because he just crashed his fucking car.
No. As I said,
Going 100 miles an hour.
As I said, this is where we get the first glimpse that Dom is a superhero. Earlier in the movie, he's interrogating people to find out like who the actual killer of Letty was, and he gets this guy. He leans him over like the hood of a car, and drops an engine block off of its like lock.
I've seen this movie.
And it's dropping right over the dude's face. He extends his arm out, full extension, grabs the chain, and holds an engine block over the dude's face.
That's
for
like a couple
good
thousand
minute.
pounds.
It is so heavy.
Yeah.
And he just holds it. And I'm like, here it is. This is where we just.
Yeah, this became like a superhero franchise.
I thought this was Fast 5. I thought I'd seen Fast 5.
Have you seen Fast 5?
Yeah, I definitely did, but I got them mixed up now. Well, maybe I haven't. I'll know next week.
So the cliffhanger ending, Dom Toretto gets sentenced to 25 to life. They don't care that he helped take out Braga. It doesn't make up for all the sins of his past.
And that he's just going around murdering people that he thinks killed his...
Extrajudicial killings in foreign countries probably didn't help.
Yeah, is he in trouble? Is he going to be held in Mexico?
That's his land, Bobby. Doesn't...
He had jurisdiction there, so it's a gray area. He's on a prison bus, orange jumpsuit and everything.
This is why I know that's how Fast 5 starts, I'm pretty sure, is them breaking him out.
And who do we see in the distance driving fast cars? Brian O'Connor, Mia Toretto, and two random guys who were helping them in the Dominican Republic earlier.
Brian, what's it called when you like fall in love with your captors? Stockholm syndrome? Because that's what Brian has with Dom. He fucking just leaves his life as an FBI agent.
Yeah. So and that is the cliffhanger ending to what I consider the beginning of this franchise.
I'm gonna watch Fast 5. This is where I believe it starts.
For some reason, I would want to watch Mighty Ducks Game Changers as well as now I want to watch some of the Fast and Furiouses.
They're only getting better from here, Bob. And they only get more and more absurd, as you can tell.
Yeah, I saw with the NBA playoffs starting, they're showing like more commercials for F9. The one was just, I hadn't seen this clip before. It was like Dom's like on a car and another car is rolling and it just straight up hits him. Like just hits him and he's going to be fine from it.
Yep.
Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I really enjoyed rewatching this movie and I'm looking forward to all the ones coming up after this. Are you guys convinced?
So was F5 before Tokyo Drift 2?
We will get there when we get there.
Is Tokyo Drift the last movie in this franchise? Is everything comes out before it?
You guys are going to be so excited when you learn how these movies interconnect. The timeline is just... It's airtight, first of all. And it's awesome, second of all. Alright, well that'll do it for fastening up for F9. So much more to come in that, and I'm so excited. But we've got another action-packed movie to talk about today. Netflix's newest movie, Army of the Dead, was released on May 21st, 2021. Directed by Zack Snyder, written by Zack Snyder, Shay Hatton, and Joby Harold. The movie stars Dave Bautista, Ella Purnell, Omari Hardwick, Ana de la Reguera, and a bunch of other people. A lot of people I've never heard of.
If you could name who anyone besides Batista, what character they play.
I gotta think I'm not gonna butcher that, but I think she's the one who gets her neck snapped like that.
Okay,
I think that's correct.
That's the only thing.
Spoiler.
I don't know.
Man, holy fuck!
I know. That's not even a spoiler.
Yeah, she dies. What do you mean? It's a huge spoiler.
Sure, take that out.
Who cares?
Yeah. Well, no one's gonna know until it happens, anyways.
Anyway, we're gonna keep it spoiler free for the first part, although it is just kind of a dumb action movie.
Yeah.
So
Did you know? Well, Tig Notaro was the helicopter driver, and that was supposed to be, fun fact, that was Chris D'Elia, and they had to like take him out,
Really?
and it was like she wasn't even there for the like shooting of it.
Yikes!
So and I saw an article. Zack Snyder said like it was obviously an easy decision to take him out of it, but like that it cost them a shitload of money to like basically just have Tig Notaro shoot these scenes like in her house.
damn, that makes sense though. She is kind of by herself for a lot of the movie. Damn, that's interesting. Yeah. So let's keep it spoiler free just for a little bit. What were you guys' general impressions? Have you seen Dawn of the Dead? Zack Snyder's other movie. That one was written by James Gunn, who I follow James Gunn on Twitter, so I see a lot of his tweets. That he couldn't come back to write this movie because he was working on the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I didn't see that, but I've wanted to for a while, and I don't know, I was pretty excited for this. We had mentioned it last week, but yeah, I was excited to watch it, and I enjoyed it. It was better than I thought it was going to be. It was what I wanted, I'd say, for the most part.
Is Dawn then the same?
I'll get to that in a second.
Okay, but yeah, I was less excited about this. I saw it when we watched the trailer. I'm like, that looks so stupid. It'll be funny. This movie was actually pretty good, and I actually liked it, and I will be recommending this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of in that same boat where I wasn't super convinced. I was like, yeah, it looks fine, it looks stupid enough, it could be good. Then I saw the runtime of 2.5 hours. I was like, this might not be good. But in the end, that was one of the only things I didn't like about it was the runtime.
There's some chunks you could take out of here, but
It felt like they left nothing on the cutting room floor. They kept everything they shot is in this movie. But I agree. Overall, I liked it. I think it probably exceeded my expectations. And like Bob said, I think it did everything I wanted it to do, which wasn't a ton, but I think that they hit basically every mark that I was looking for.
yeah, as soon as I saw that Tiger Zombie, I'm like, yeah, this movie knows what it is.
Yeah.
I watched Dawn of the Dead this week for the first time ever. Completely unnecessary. Don't think these movies are connected in any way whatsoever.
It doesn't appear so, because Dawn of the Dead isn't in Las Vegas. This makes it seem like the outbreak is in
This movie
Vegas.
seems pretty clear that this is a contained instance.
Mhm.
That is not the case in Dawn of the Dead, and I cannot, having seen both these movies this week, find any link between the two other than the director and the title.
I actually like how they did that and had it just be in Vegas where the zombie outbreak, because I feel like that's what would happen in real life. Like we could get this shit to stay in one city and then just bomb it. This feels like the most realistic zombie movie
That's
I've
what they
ever
should have
seen.
done with COVID.
I was going to say, based on COVID, I'm less inclined to think that we could contain anything.
Is
like
Dawn
that.
That's a really good
Is
point.
Dawn of the Dead good? Like, is it a good movie?
I liked it. My only issue with it is not a legitimate criticism, is that it was a lot of things I had seen before in zombie movies and shows, but it came out in 2004, so it predates a lot of the other movies and shows that I've seen. So that's not a fair criticism of the movie itself, but that was just because I was watching it for the first time in 2021, kind of how I felt about it. But it was good.
Well, this movie, the way it ends, it makes me think there's a movie coming out after it.
They could.
They left it open for sure. I guess you guys would both recommend it. We can.
I would say for sure, yeah.
I think it's worthwhile. It is long, so maybe take the Ben approach, knock it out in 4 to 6 weeks. But
We're watching it when you're super hungover.
Yeah, well, I watched it this morning. I finished it this morning too.
Did
I
we
watched this
all
in three.
finish it this morning?
I watched it in three
Oh.
different parts.
I did
How
too.
many parts? 2 parts,
Yeah.
Jeremy? 1 part?
just watched it Friday night
Like a normal person.
like a sane human being. I was pissed though because I did not give myself a ton of time. I was like, oh, what's this going to be, like a 90-minute action movie? Ooh, I'm going to be up another hour later than I planned on being, but
Yeah, I wasn't
whatever.
a fan of the runtime.
They spent like the first half hour of this movie, like it did not need to be 30 minutes long. Like the way they set it up.
I actually like the first 30 minutes the
good.
most. I would
It's the best
say.
part of the movie, I think, too. But
Yeah.
it's just like when it's this type of movie, I'm like, I don't need all that background, but I'm stunned they went to
Yeah.
those lengths or whatever. I think Zack Snyder just kind of gets to do what he wants now when he makes a movie, because like
I don't know, how did he get this reputation as like, oh, it's Zack Snyder, man.
Yeah, I don't even know, like Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead. I'm like, what's going on
Is
here?
he
He's like DJ
made-
Khaled.
Yeah, has he made any good movies like that are actually like good? I mean, like winning an Oscar or something like that.
300?
That movie's not that good.
I've never seen it.
I seriously don't know what good movie he's made. I mean, there's
Yeah.
movies that he makes that I like, that I've watched.
No, but I know what you mean. Yeah,
But
he's-
like, you're not like fucking Scorsese or something. Like,
yeah. I think he thinks he is Scorsese.
apparently everybody else does too.
Oh.
And he's way closer to Michael Bay than he would be
He
Scorsese.
gets clowned down a lot in
Good.
the circles I follow online, but I mean, he's got a directing credit, a writing credit. He's the DP and a producer on this movie, so clearly, and as far as I understand it, Netflix is pretty hands off compared to most studios. So I think they just kind of let him do whatever the hell he
Yeah,
wants.
I think his wife like helped him a lot.
Yeah,
on this
she's
movie,
a
too.
producer as
Yeah.
well on this. And it makes sense when you see that like 80% of the movie has the shallowest depth of field ever, when like the front of an actor's face is in focus, but like the back of their head is out of focus. Like,
Mhm.
why is that your aesthetic choice for most of this movie? I don't know. I thought that was kind of weird. Spoiler free, I also thought that the music kind of sucked because every song is just like a bad cover.
Yeah, and how they ended it with zombie. I'm like,
Yeah,
what the fuck?
That's the only
Yeah.
non-cover, and
Yeah.
but it was so cheesy. But there's a cover of Viva Las Vegas in the beginning.
I actually liked
whatever.
that.
It was whatever. And then there's a cover of Bad Moon Rising in the middle of the movie.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
Viva Las Vegas was stuck in my head all day yesterday from this shit.
Yeah, no, that was stuck in my head too. I actually kind of liked that. And then Zombie, you just like almost had to put it in there.
I thought it was cheesy. I
It
like
started,
that.
I
I
was
really
like-
like that song, but
I like that song, but when it came out, I'm like, this would be like if I was like, you know what? Like they came up with some great idea.
all right, let's just go into spoilers.
The one lady gets her head broken.
Yeah.
That was fucked. That was so like. That was way more violent than I thought it was going to be. This movie.
there's definitely some violence. They definitely earned their R rating. I want to go somewhat chronologically here, and again reiterate that I think the beginning of this movie is by far the best part. Not only because it shows like the beginning of the pandemic, the zombie apocalypse or whatever, which you don't see a lot in zombie movies. I thought it was kind of interesting that it showed it. But then on top of that, like once they get through all that, which I agree was like a little long, the way that they just go like right to Dave Bautista and they're like, okay, what's this guy's motivation? Like, first of all, what's the plot? The Japanese businessman comes in and is like, I need you to steal all the money out of this casino. And then you meet Dave Bautista. You're like, well, why would he want to do that? Oh, because he flips burgers for a living and he's one of the only guys who can kill zombies effectively. Good enough for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I really needed. I just thought like they set the rules of the world up right in the beginning. They set everyone's motivations right in the beginning, and it was consistent, and it was good enough for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but when he's getting this crew together, I can't believe he got this many people to agree to it. And then that one guy, when the crew's all assembled, he's just like, I'm out. Smartest guy in the whole movie.
You know, I was, like that's like basically a suicide mission. But why were they doing it for like 20 grand? Like the lower level people that were.
I love that running gag though, where they just
kept going.
as
First
they,
one got less than
as they recruit more people, the amount that
How
they
did
offer them just keeps going down.
20 was the lowest, and I
forget what
cannot
Dave
believe.
Bautista's was. Was his like
15
15
million?
million.
Oh, okay.
Like the main three were getting 15 million each, and then the helicopter pilot got 2 million, and then it just started dropping
And
into
then
like hundreds of thousands.
The bad guy cop, just 20,000, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
something
like
that.
what you would do it for $20,000? Yeah, fucking right.
Yeah. What do you guys think of the ensemble crew and the, it's a heist movie as well, so you got to have your obligatory getting the crew together scene. So what do you guys think of both of those?
I liked. My favorite was the guy at the end of the movie that is bitten, and the guy that cracks the safe. Their little relation. I liked them. I could tell that they became good friends.
Yeah, I don't know where that one guy's from. I'll guess like Norway.
Germany. Well, the actor at least I think was
Okay.
in a bunch
I
of
like-
German movies.
I like that guy the best, and yeah, I don't know. Maybe I wanted like one more famous person in this to like
Really,
make.
just Batista. He's not even as a movie. Like I don't feel like he's not in many like leading roles.
Because like they
this.
probably asked The Rock to do this, and he said
Yeah.
no. So then
This
they
is
went
more
to
like
him.
this is more like a The Rock movie, but like it is kind of odd that there is nobody else really big in it.
yeah,
he's
I
big
don't
enough
know.
now,
I
but-
don't know any of these actors in anything
Not
outside of
bad.
Dave Bautista.
You're pulling up the German guy, and it says he is one of the most successful German actors, and we've never fucking seen him before.
I looked up the credits of most of the actors. He's been in like almost exclusively German movies. So surprised you haven't caught any of them. I thought the crew itself was pretty good. I think my least favorite might have been Batista's daughter,
I don't think she served any purpose in the movie.
or her, or the dude who is like working for the Japanese businessman guy who
Yeah.
inserts himself into it. His whole storyline, I felt like probably could have been cut. The stuff with the daughter,
the guy kind of like double crossing them.
yeah.
I actually liked that a lot.
I liked his motive. I mean, cutting off the head was pretty fucking crazy. Didn't see
Yeah.
that coming, but yeah, I don't know why they would like be okay with him going, and why he would even want to go.
Like, do a little bit of research. Clearly, that guy is like gonna probably fuck you over.
Yeah.
Also, when they had the scene where they lost the one girl in like the dark whatever they were going through, why did they immediately not like you get in front? We're gonna watch you. Some sketchy
Yeah.
shit just happened. Like, let's keep our eyes on you. Like, why were they just like, oh, okay, she's dead?
And Jeremy, back to your point of Bautista's daughter, not great parenting. I gotta say, I would not. I'd put her in a bus and be like, "I'm sorry, you're not fucking coming in because you think someone you know." Like the person who's in there, I forget her name.
Who cares?
The
Yeah.
mom.
Yeah, the mom. Just like, I get she's alive in this movie, and you knew she was gonna be, but she would not be fucking alive. Like, I'm sorry, you're not going in there because you have a hunch that maybe she survived somehow.
Why? Yeah, exactly. If I was Batista, I'd be like, "Are you a fucking idiot?"
She's dead as fuck.
Yeah. What does she do? Is she like a fucking? I don't even know. Like, she's not a like a assassin or a military person like me. Like, why? Of course she's
And
dead.
like her way of like getting in on the crew then is saying like, oh well, I'm just gonna sneak in anyways and do it. It's like no, you're fucking not. Like you're going on this bus and you're leaving.
Batista should have just clocked her.
Yeah,
like, you're
honestly, yeah, that would be
done. You're
better
in timeout,
parenting.
bitch.
Yeah, the whole I need to go save the mom of those kids. I didn't need any. That's
don't
the
mind
first
her-
thing I would cut in this.
I don't
movie.
mind her going in with them and the whole thing, like that dynamic of like her saying, like, "I'm gonna go in even if you say no," but just give her a better reason to have to go in.
Yeah,
That was like the stupidest reason.
It's the reason her dad ends up like dying later in the movie.
It's her fault.
Yeah, I hope she knows that.
Yeah, there's a lot of deaths, and I kind of want to go through those in a second. Another thing I want to touch, kind of in the intro part of the movie. First was I wanted there to be at least one thing I've never seen in a zombie movie before. That was like one of my things I was hoping for going into this movie. And when they show kind of the early stages of the outbreak, and you see the guys parachuting, and you only see the sky, and I'm like, am I about to watch these guys drop into a sea of zombies on parachutes? I've never seen that before, and I thought that was
I was
awesome.
confused by that. Why would they be parachuting in?
Doesn't make a lot of sense, but when you see these guys parachuting and then the dude just starts shooting down before you see the sea
Yeah.
of zombies, I'm like, that's pretty cool. I've never seen that
cool.
before.
I was thinking like they were hanging from a helicopter and shooting a bunch, which would have made more sense to me. But they're just like, we're just gonna go die and like fly into this.
I thought you were gonna say the zombie baby.
Yeah, zombie
Wasn't
baby was pretty
expecting that.
fucking. That was a big twist.
Probably could have left that out. That served no purpose.
There is a zombie baby in Dawn of the Dead, but
Oh,
it's not two zombies creating a zombie baby. It's a woman who's pregnant, gets bit,
Oh,
and has a
Gotcha,
zombie
okay,
baby.
Yeah, that is a different twist. I didn't realize zombies were having sex, but I like that they included that in this
Yeah.
movie. I wish they would have shown it
yeah.
personally, but
too.
my biggest complaint about this movie is like when they have like the different tiers of zombies, the alphas and then just normal zombies.
They should just made them all.
They're
go away
all
there,
alphas, aren't they? Because if an alpha bites you, you become an alpha, and it started with one alpha. How is that? How are they not all the same then?
I thought the same thing, and here's how I made it make sense in my head, because it is not explained. The way you explained it is how it's explained in the movie. If an alpha bites you, you become an alpha. But as you said, it all started with one alpha. My assumption is if an alpha bites you, you become like a tier 2 alpha. And if a tier 2 alpha bites
But
you,
you're
you
like
just become a
3.
zombie.
Gotcha. Oh, okay, it just keeps getting lesser.
Right. And if a zombie bites you, you also become a zombie.
Gotcha.
So I don't know how that makes more. I guess that first guy is the only one who can create alphas then, if that makes sense.
Yeah, by that logic.
So that's how I made it make sense in my head, but I could be
guess.
wrong. But I'm more of a purist when it comes to my zombie stories. I like just regular zombies, brainless, mindless. They got one goal, which is to eat, and then I don't know. I don't.
Yeah, this one they're like
particularly
game planning. They have like
they're
they know their
intelligent.
territory. Yeah.
They're almost like hive-minded. Like the main guy clearly has control over all the other ones, including the tiger, which is pretty sweet. I like the tiger. I like a lot of the Vegas stuff that they included in this movie. That was another thing I was hoping for. I was like, I hope they just take advantage of the setting of Vegas.
Yeah, it was a good choice.
And having a Siegfried and Roy lion become
Makes
a zombie
sense.
is pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Tiger.
You see, or a tiger, yes. Seeing the Elvis impersonator, at least one, turn into it. Like you see Elvis impersonator zombies around.
Mhm.
There was the strippers in the casino who were
Yeah, that
like
was
some of the
funny.
earliest zombies. I was like, I think they took advantage of the setting pretty well.
I liked the fight scene, not fight scene, but like the scene in the end of the casino where they're just fucking. He's jumping on the
That was
tables.
poker
tables.
tables.
yeah. That was cool.
No Batista bomb.
I was upset.
I was,
Is that his move? Sorry.
yeah, the Batista bomb.
and I
would've
literally
bet $1
looked it
million.
up on YouTube before the movie. I'm like, if there's a Batista bomb, I want to go off for it, and I didn't see one.
A
if it
huge
happened.
missed opportunity. Every time he was fighting, I was like, please.
I think this is the first time I've seen him in a movie then, because I don't think I've watched his other ones. But I thought he was really good in this.
His acting is significantly better than anything I've ever seen him in before, because he always plays like dumb
Yeah.
muscle roles, which he
Yeah.
is in this as well. But he actually had to like act, and
There's like some emotional
Yeah.
stuff between.
Way better than I
didn't need,
thought.
but yeah, but it was
way better
yeah,
than I
he's pretty
thought.
Yeah, I thought he was
I'd
pretty great
nominate
in
him.
this. Looking for the halvesies, I think he could be contending
That's a
for
good point.
best actor.
We give it to Dave Bautista.
Hey, I'll do it.
Fucking Mark Wahlberg won it last year for That's Spencer Confidential.
Didn't he win best and worst performance?
I think he won best. We're so stupid.
Jesus,
We
Christ.
really have a great podcast here. We're not going to go too much longer on this, but there's a lot of people who die in this movie. I was wondering if you wanted to give any shout outs for any particularly good death scenes.
That's a good one.
I mean, when the bad guy cop dies, I was hoping a little more from that. That he just gets his face bitten, but then later on his face is not torn up at all. I didn't like that. I think my favorite death was the one zombie that they have go through the, like the booby trapped, like, and he gets like shot with all the darts. Then he's like mauled by all those bullets. Somehow none go into his brain. Don't worry about that. And then he just gets stamped together. That shit was that was my favorite one.
I liked that.
Probably the tiger. I think that might
Killing
be my
the
favorite.
dude?
Yeah, more or less like this scene. The way he actually just like bit his head wasn't like that great, but like the entire like how he like played with him was kind of fucked up.
Yeah. I asked the question. I don't know that I have a very satisfying
Did you like
answer.
when Ana de la Reguera got her?
The
That
neck
might
snapping
that
was-
might have to be number
That
one.
would have been like
actually.
one of the funnier moments in the movie as well.
They killed I knew that the guy who like comes in on the mission knew he was dying, knew the bad cop was dying. I didn't think they were gonna kill off like everyone in this movie. That
Dude,
was pretty wild.
I didn't think Batista was gonna die either.
No, yeah.
But like when she got her neck snapped, that I was so
I was
not
like,
ready.
they're killing anyone. I
I
thought
was-
she was the love interest or something.
I was so not ready for that. I was like, what the fuck just happened?
Dude, they set it up so perfectly though. Like they have their touching moment, and then it just really builds up to that moment so well. I thought that was probably honestly like the most satisfying death scene.
Good thing Batista died because he was gonna live with some crazy fucking
Yeah.
guilt and remorse for tricking all these people into joining him. and then-
Horrendous PTSD. from that.
Oh, yeah.
I also like the pilot's death because she just gets shot while he's fighting the alpha zombie.
I
in the
was
back of the
confused. I think I
airplane.
might have looked away or something. But
No,
where did she get shot?
She
Like,
didn't
what part
die
of the body?
from that. She got shot, and then remember
Like
she
the
wipes
neck?
the blood.
And then she keeps flying, and then they crash.
They crash,
or
and
whatever,
the daughter only cares about the dad. That pilot's dead as hell.
She gave a once over. She's like, "Yep, she's dead."
was the mom in there?
Don't worry about it.
Do they ever look for the mom in
No,
the
dude, she's dead as hell too, and that's the whole reason the daughter came. And like, then she instantly doesn't give a
She
shit.
was in the helicopter though, right?
Yes,
and
she
then
was.
we just don't ever.
Good point.
Sure.
Dude,
As soon as that zombie,
Don't even
the
remember.
alpha zombie came in, she left. They were like, "You need to get
Just
out of
jumped
here."
out.
Yeah.
She got nuked with the rest of them.
Can someone explain to me? The guy, the black guy, wasn't he in Vegas when the bomb went off? Or how the hell did he get
I
out?
assume the
How did he not
safe
die?
is like a bomb, like a fallout shelter.
Is that okay? Because he's in the safe and then he's just
That's-
walking out with all the money.
Yeah.
I gotta think nuclear bombs are killing people like that.
That's what I'm thinking though. But even if that like somehow that was a fallout shelter, that was like in the middle of the area for him to walk out through a just got blown up like nuclear site. How the fuck do you not die of radiation right away?
Right away, yeah.
When
'cause-
he was in the plane, I was like, oh, he's gonna die of radiation, like because he literally just absorbed so fucking much of
yeah, that's like how they could have a second movie that how he has the bite or whatever. But I don't know how long he's gonna live. Does cancer kill zombies? Because he fucking has it.
Good point.
it. Yeah, that was unnecessary though. Like that whole thing, like when the movie ended, I was like, this is a good time for it to end. I was like, okay, and I picked up my fucking remote and I was like, there's another 15 minutes of the movie. Like, what the fuck? They honestly could have cut that out, and it just leaves it open that they could have a sequel or something else.
But I didn't need it. You could just have
Yeah.
a fucking sequel.
Yeah, this isn't a movie that we're like, wait, that doesn't make any sense. How are we getting another sequel? Like, nobody's gonna care.
Yeah. They kind of did that in Dawn of the Dead as well, where you follow this group. Obviously, people die over the course of the movie, and then the end is just kind of open-ended as to whether or not you think that the remaining people at the end could survive the final thing that they kind of walk into, or if they all end up dying in the end. It's left a little open and ambiguous, which is why I was like, oh, they could continue making movies in this world, and then apparently they didn't. So.
Yes.
I hope he does it again. He makes a third zombie movie, and it's just
But
not
none of them
even
are
connected to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be strange, but who knows? Clearly, Zack Snyder just does whatever the hell he wants. So, all right, boys. Any final thoughts on Army of the Dead?
I'd say it's pretty solid. I enjoyed it very much, and I think that I would highly recommend it.
Yeah, I would recommend it too. I think the one thing I've learned from this movie is if zombies have like a kid together, don't kill the mom of the zombie because you're gonna make the one dude really fucking pissed. That dude was on a mission to murder everyone.
Yeah, it was good. As I said at the start, it exceeded my expectations. I don't think we ruined the movie for anyone who was on the fence. I think it's still probably worth watching, even if you listened all the way through on this podcast. So
Yeah, because you're gonna just see all the action. It's not like we.
Yeah, it's definitely worth watching. That'll do it for this week. Next week, we may watch the first movie in a theater that we've ever watched for this podcast. Potentially, A Quiet Place Part 2 comes out next weekend.
Well, I will definitely be there because I need to boost my my score because I have that in the movie draft. But
Yeah, I don't know if I'll go.
just wait till like Monday.
I'll see if I can pirate it somewhere. But yeah, that could be pretty exciting. We also had the final episode of The Mighty Ducks Game Changers and the movie everyone on the planet has seen, Fast 5. It's a big week.
Big episode. Holy fuck.
Wow, Jesus Christ.
All right. Well, as always, thank you everyone for listening. And remember, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. We'll see you next week.